Hey friends, welcome to tonight's relaxing philosophy for sleep. This slow-spoken bedtime gentle narration is designed to help you unwind, clear your mind, and drift into a peaceful night's rest. Picture this, a quiet night, the soft hum of the world outside, and the gentle embrace of a calm, clear mind. It's a feeling many of us crave after the chaos of a long day. Now, imagine finding a way to carry that peace into the night, letting your worries melt away effortlessly, allowing yourself to rest fully, completely. This is what Stoic philosophy offers us, a way to quiet the noise of the world, return to the present moment, and find peace within ourselves. You probably never realized philosophy could lull you to sleep so peacefully, did you? But tonight, that's exactly what we're going to explore together. How ancient Stoic teachings can guide you into a deep, restful sleep. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And while you're settling in, why not share where you're tuning in from and what time it is for you? It's always fun to see how far these peaceful thoughts can travel. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. The first thing we'll explore tonight is the Stoic idea of inner peace, an essential ingredient for a restful sleep. Imagine this, you've had a long day at work, things didn't go as planned, people were frustrating, and there's a list of things you still need to do. By the time you lie down, your mind is racing. But here's the thing Stoicism teaches us, that peace doesn't come from external circumstances. It's cultivated from within. You can control your reactions, even if you can't control everything happening around you. And that's where the Stoic teachings really shine. They help you focus on what you can control, and more importantly, teach you to let go of everything else. The Stoics believed that the key to serenity was to acknowledge that you can't control the world, but you can control how you respond to it. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." It's a powerful reminder that peace isn't something you need to chase. It's something you can cultivate from within. The beautiful thing about this is that it applies to your sleep as well. By letting go of what you can't control the outcomes of the day, the tasks left unfinished, you make room for the stillness needed for restful sleep. You might not always get everything done in a day, and that's okay. Stoicism reminds us that we're doing the best we can, and perfection is not the goal. The goal is peace, and you can create that peace by accepting what is and letting go of the rest. Imagine, as you settle into your bed, that your mind is like a cluttered room. The thoughts are everywhere, unfinished tasks, worries about tomorrow, frustrations from the day. What if, instead of trying to force all those thoughts out, you simply acknowledged them, accepted them, and then let them go? That's the essence of Stoic practice. The Stoics didn't ignore their emotions, but they didn't let them control them either. They knew that by accepting life as it is, without resistance, they could maintain their inner peace. Picture yourself lying there, allowing those thoughts to pass like clouds in the sky, acknowledging them, but not holding on to them. As you do this, your mind begins to settle, your body relaxes, and sleep slowly wraps around you like a warm blanket. This practice of acceptance of what is opens the door to peace. It's one of the most important tools you can use for restful sleep. It's also incredibly freeing. When you let go of the need to control everything, you stop resisting the natural flow of life. You stop fighting against what is, and this shift in perspective creates a space where true calm can exist, where you can find rest without the weight of unnecessary mental clutter. Remember that morning meditation trick, the one where you simply observe your thoughts without judgment. That's an excellent tool for tonight as well. As you lie in bed, notice any thoughts that arise, maybe a worry about tomorrow or a lingering thought from today. Instead of trying to push them away, just observe them. Acknowledge that they are there, but remember, they are just thoughts. They don't define you. They don't control you. You can let them drift away just as easily as they arrived. This doesn't mean you're weak or giving up. It means you're choosing peace over struggle. You're choosing to focus on the present moment instead of getting lost in the noise of the past or future. You are fully aware that the present is all you have. And that's exactly where your peace lies. As you settle deeper into your bed, let this realization sink in. Nothing is more important right now than your peace. The world can wait. Your mind and body deserve this time to rest. And by practicing acceptance, you're already moving toward that restful sleep. The Stoics had a beautiful way of putting this. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. But in the case of sleep, perhaps the best revenge is simply to let go of the struggle to sleep. Instead, accept that sleep will come in its own time. Trust that your mind and body know what to do when you stop forcing it. You don't need to prove anything to yourself tonight. All you need to do is breathe, relax, and let go. So, as you breathe in deeply, feel that release. You're letting go of the day's stresses, the expectations, the hustle. They no longer serve you. Right now, what serves you is peace. Picture your body sinking deeper into your bed with each breath. Let the warmth of the covers wrap you up. With each exhale, feel yourself drifting closer to sleep. With every breath, let go of the need to control anything, to perfect anything. Tonight, you can rest fully because you've already done enough. You are enough. And as you drift deeper into slumber, the Stoic philosophy will continue to guide you, teaching you that peace isn't a distant goal. It's a state of being that you can access at any time simply by letting go. Now that you've started to settle into that calm space, let's dive into one of the most powerful aspects of Stoic thought: letting go of what's outside of your control. This idea is core to the Stoic practice, and it's something that can radically shift how you approach not just your day, but also how you fall into sleep. Imagine lying there, eyes closed, the quiet of the room wrapping around you. And in that stillness, a thought pops into your head. What if I didn't finish everything today? What if something goes wrong tomorrow? These thoughts are like waves on the shore, constantly crashing into your mind, uninvited. But here's where the Stoic approach can help. Instead of battling the waves, what if you simply allowed them to wash over you, knowing they'll pass, just like all things do? The Stoics believed that the root of much of our suffering comes from attaching ourselves too tightly to things we cannot control: other people's actions, the weather, how a meeting goes, the decisions of your boss or your partner. Yet, at the core of their teachings, they remind us we can't control any of these things. What we can control is how we respond to them. Think about that for a moment. How much mental energy is spent worrying about things you can't change? It's exhausting, isn't it? But here's the catch. You have the power to let go of that weight. Picture this. You inhale deeply, and as you exhale, imagine releasing all that excess worry. It's not your burden to carry. The Stoics would say, focus only on what's within your control. When you make peace with the fact that the outside world is out of your hands, you can finally let go of the tension in your body and mind that comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. Now, let that insight drift with you as you feel your body grow heavier in your bed, the sheets feeling more comforting with each breath. The goal isn't to ignore these thoughts, but to acknowledge that worrying about them serves no purpose, least not right now. Think of your thoughts as fleeting visitors, arriving and then leaving without needing to be engaged. When you stop resisting them, they naturally fade away, making space for rest. That's exactly what we want in this momentpeace.com, and the ability to relax completely. Here's an idea to deepen this practice. Think about the concept of emotional detachment. The Stoics weren't saying to become cold or indifferent to the world, but rather to detach from the emotional turbulence that certain situations trigger. Imagine for a moment that you're watching your thoughts from a distance, as if you were an observer. You notice the worries, the stress, the thoughts that race through your mind, but you don't have to get caught up in them. You can simply acknowledge them and let them pass without being swept away. It's a powerful feeling, isn't it? When you realize that you don't have to react emotionally to every thought, you free yourself from the constant cycle of stress and anxiety. Picture yourself lying there, breathing deeply, letting your body relax more and more with each exhale. Your body knows how to rest. It just needs your permission to do so. The Stoics would say, you are disturbed not by things, but by the views you take of them. The way you see your challenges, your worries, your frustrations, it's all just a matter of perspective. And right now, as you lie in your bed, you have the power to shift your perspective. You can choose to see your thoughts not as obstacles, but as mere ripples on the surface of a calm sea. You don't have to react to them. You don't have to fight them. Instead, you let them flow, allowing yourself to float peacefully, undisturbed by the waves. You might be wondering, how does this all tie into sleep? The connection is clear. When you stop engaging with your worries, your mind becomes clearer. You can let go of the mental clutter that keeps you awake. Think about how often we lie in bed, rehashing the day or worrying about tomorrow. The Stoics suggest that this is unnecessary and, in fact, counterproductive. Instead of allowing those thoughts to consume you, shift your focus to the things you can control: your breathing, your posture, your comfort. Allow yourself to trust that sleep will come when you stop fighting it. The Stoics weren't saying to ignore the external world, but they taught that by mastering our inner world, we can find true peace. And that's exactly what you're doing right now. By letting go of the unnecessary stress, you create space for rest. Now, I know it's not always easy. Sometimes, the mind is a persistent guest, knocking at the door with its worries and concerns. But remember, you don't have to let those thoughts in. You don't have to entertain them. You can simply acknowledge them, thank them for visiting, and let them go. Imagine that with each breath, you are releasing a little more tension, a little more worry. You feel your body soften into the mattress, your mind quieting with each passing moment. It's like standing under a waterfall of calm, letting the stress and the clutter of the day wash away, leaving you with nothing but stillness. The Stoics would remind you that peace is a practice, not a one-time event. The more you choose to let go, the easier it becomes. Let's take this a step further. As you continue to breathe deeply and relax, think about your reactions. The next time something bothers you, whether it's a conversation, a task, or a feeling, try to observe it without judgment. The Stoics would call this mindful detachment. You don't need to react right away. You don't need to get swept up in frustration or anxiety. Instead, simply notice the feeling and let it pass without attachment. In the context of sleep, this practice is incredibly helpful. When we detach from our emotions, we detach from the cycle of racing thoughts that can keep us awake. Think about that for a moment. What would it be like to go to bed and not carry the weight of the world on your shoulders? What if you could rest in the knowledge that you've done all you can for today, and tomorrow will take care of itself? That's the gift Stoicism offers: freedom from unnecessary mental burdens. So, take another deep breath and imagine yourself sinking deeper into relaxation. With each exhale, let go of any lingering thoughts. Let the peace of the present moment wash over you. You deserve this rest. Tonight, you can choose peace over worry. You can let go of what you can't control and embrace the serenity that comes from surrendering to the present moment. As you continue to relax, imagine now that you are holding a journal in your hands, soft pages waiting to be filled. Picture yourself sitting quietly before bed, your mind winding down from the day. Now, instead of allowing all those lingering thoughts to spin out of control, you reach for your journal, and here's where Stoic practice comes into play. One of the most effective ways to clear your mind and gain inner calm before sleep is through the simple, yet profound, practice of daily reflection. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, often turned to journaling as a tool to process their thoughts and emotions. It wasn't about documenting every detail of their day, but rather about reflecting on their experiences, identifying where they succeeded, and acknowledging where they might have missed the mark. The practice was about learning from each day's events, gathering wisdom for the future, but also letting go of the past. Imagine taking just 5 minutes before bed to jot down your thoughts. In the quiet, dimly lit room, this practice can help bring closure to your day, allowing you to release any stress or lingering feelings that may otherwise keep you awake. As you write, reflect on your thoughts and actions. What did you do well today? What could you have done better? Instead of criticizing yourself, approach it from a place of curiosity. What lessons can you take from today that will make tomorrow better? And then, most importantly, close the journal with gratitude. Stoicism teaches us that no matter how challenging the day, we always have something to be grateful for. As you write down something you're thankful for, you shift your focus from what went wrong to what went right, from stress to calm. Picture yourself putting the journal down, feeling a sense of relief as you let go of the day's mental clutter. By allowing yourself this time for reflection, you create a ritual of mental release that primes you for rest. Now, let's explore how this daily practice of reflection connects with your ability to fall asleep. The Stoics believed that the mind needed to be as clear and calm as possible to achieve true peace. Think about how often you lie in bed, replaying conversations, overanalyzing interactions, or thinking about things you wish you'd done differently. It's like having a constant mental loop running in the background that keeps you from finding true relaxation. What if, instead of letting that mental loop play on, you had a space to release these thoughts in a healthy, structured way? That's what Stoic journaling provides, an opportunity to consciously pause, process, and then let go. By taking a few moments before sleep to reflect on your actions and thoughts, you stop them from taking over your mind when you're lying in bed. You essentially create a mental clean slate, ready to be filled with peace and rest. With every reflection, you release the tension that comes from unresolved thoughts and bring yourself closer to the quiet stillness needed for sleep. Another key element of Stoic journaling is practicing mindfulness in the present moment. The Stoics believed that it wasn't just enough to reflect on your actions, but to be conscious of the present, too. Imagine, as you write, that you're truly observing yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, not from a place of judgment, but from a place of understanding. By bringing yourself into the present moment, you free yourself from the anxious thoughts about the future or regrets from the past. This mindfulness also ties into how you experience your sleep. When we live too much in the past or future, we miss out on the peace that the present offers. By embracing the now, you allow yourself to relax into the present, letting go of what cannot be changed. And as you lie in bed, you can practice this same mindfulness. Be present in your body. Notice the softness of the sheets, the rhythm of your breath. You don't need to force yourself to sleep. Simply focus on the present moment, and rest will naturally follow. This shift, moving away from worry and toward present awareness, is a cornerstone of Stoic practice, and it helps pave the way for deep, restorative sleep. Let's consider another piece of Stoic wisdom that will guide you into rest: the idea of controlling your reactions. Life, of course, will always throw challenges your way, things that are beyond your control. Maybe a conversation didn't go as planned, or something didn't work out the way you wanted it to. But what the Stoics teach is that you cannot control the events of the world, but you can control how you respond to them. The practice of controlling your reactions means choosing not to be disturbed by things you cannot change. For instance, if someone frustrates you, you don't have to hold on to that frustration. You can choose to acknowledge it and then let it go. This concept is incredibly helpful when it comes to sleep. How many times have you tried to sleep only to find your mind racing with worries or frustrations from the day? When you don't allow yourself to control your reactions, those emotions persist and keep you awake. But if you take the Stoic approach, you can choose to release those emotions. Recognize that they are there, acknowledge them, and then let them drift away, leaving you in peace. This is not denial, it's emotional freedom. It's saying to yourself, I'm not going to carry this into my rest tonight. It's not my responsibility to resolve it right now. As you lie in bed, bring your attention to your breath and your body, noticing how each exhale carries away the tensions of the day. Imagine your mind as a calm pool, free from the ripples of unresolved emotions. Now, let's return to your breathing. With each slow, deep breath you take, you bring yourself closer to relaxation. Your breath is a powerful tool for calming your mind and body. As you inhale, imagine filling your body with calm, and as you exhale, release any tension, any lingering frustration. Visualize your body becoming lighter, softer, as if the weight of the day is melting away. The Stoics would say that this ability to focus on the present moment and control your reactions is what leads to true peace, and what ultimately leads to a peaceful night's sleep. This practice of mindfulness and reflection not only clears your mind of distractions, but also ensures that you fall asleep with a sense of acceptance and calm. Every exhale is an invitation to let go, and with every inhale, you invite peace into your body, your mind, and your spirit. Trust in the process. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be right now, laying in this moment, preparing for rest. Let the wisdom of the Stoics guide you gently into a night of deep, restorative sleep. As you continue to ease deeper into relaxation, let's turn our attention to a practice the Stoics often used: acceptance. Acceptance is a cornerstone of Stoic thought, and it's something that can profoundly influence your ability to sleep. You see, the Stoics didn't teach us to ignore or suppress our emotions. They taught us to accept life as it is. This is an essential practice, especially in the chaotic world we live in today. The more we try to fight against reality, the more we create tension within ourselves. But when you accept things as they are, when you embrace them with open arms, that's when peace truly begins. This doesn't mean that everything will always go your way. It's not about that at all. In fact, the Stoics understood that life is full of challenges, disappointments, and unpredictability. But what they taught was that peace comes when we no longer struggle against the flow of life, when we stop railing against what cannot be changed. Imagine, for a moment, you're lying in bed and a thought comes to you. Maybe it's a worry about work, a relationship, or something that didn't go the way you expected. Instead of fighting that thought, trying to banish it, what if you simply accepted it? What if, instead of trying to control the situation, you let go of the need to do so? What if you allowed the thought to be there without attaching any emotional weight to it? It's not easy, of course. We're all hardwired to resist discomfort, to fight against things that seem wrong or out of our control. But here's where the Stoic approach shifts the narrative. The more we try to control things outside of ourselves, the more we create inner turmoil. Acceptance, however, brings peace. And peace, as you're beginning to see, is the key to a restful night's sleep. In the Stoic world, acceptance is not about passively sitting by while life unfolds. It's about actively choosing to respond to life with equanimity. It's about acknowledging that certain things are simply beyond your control and making peace with them. You're not pretending that everything is perfect, but you're choosing not to let the imperfections disturb your inner calm. This mindset can be incredibly freeing, especially when it comes to sleep. Think about the times when you've tried to force sleep to come. You've spent hours staring at the ceiling, telling yourself to just sleep already. But when we try too hard, we create tension, and that tension only makes sleep more elusive. Now, imagine that instead of trying to force sleep, you simply accept where you are in the moment. You acknowledge that sleep will come when it's ready, and in the meantime, you release the need to control the process. This kind of acceptance can help you fall into sleep naturally. You stop fighting, and instead, you trust that your body knows what to do. The Stoics often spoke of a virtue of patience, the ability to trust the process, even when things don't go as planned. When you approach sleep with that same patience, you're giving yourself the freedom to rest. You're letting go of the struggle and allowing the natural rhythm of your body to take over. The more you practice acceptance, the more you'll notice how much easier it becomes to fall asleep. One powerful way to embrace acceptance is through a practice called negative visualization. The Stoics believed that in order to cultivate gratitude and peace, we must occasionally reflect on the possibility of losing what we value most, whether that's our health, our loved ones, or even the simple comforts of life. This may sound counterintuitive, but hear me out. By briefly imagining these losses, we come to realize how much we have and how much we take for granted. It sounds a little dark, doesn't it? But there's an important lesson here. When you practice negative visualization, you're not trying to bring negativity into your life. Instead, you're learning to embrace the impermanence of everything. Life, in all its beauty, is fleeting. Everything around us is in a constant state of change. By accepting this reality, we stop clinging to things and we learn to appreciate what we have in the present. Picture yourself lying in bed, thinking not about what's missing or what's gone wrong, but about what you already have, this moment, your breath, your body, your safe space. By practicing acceptance and acknowledging what's truly valuable, you deepen your sense of gratitude and peace, and this sense of gratitude is the foundation for sleep. When we carry an attitude of appreciation rather than resistance, we create mental space for relaxation. So tonight, let's take a moment for this practice. Let your mind wander gently to the things you're grateful for, even the smallest things, the warmth of the blankets, the gentle sound of the wind outside, the feeling of your body sinking into the bed. Let gratitude fill you, and with it, a peaceful sense of acceptance that washes over you. Acceptance also ties into the Stoic concept of amor fati, or the love of fate. The Stoics believed that we should not only accept the inevitable, but love it. That's a powerful idea, isn't it? Loving whatever comes your way, whether it's good or bad, pleasant or painful. It's not about denial, but about embracing the present moment with all its imperfections. What would happen if you applied this to your sleep? What if you loved the fact that tonight, sleep might come easily, or it might take a little longer? What if you stopped resisting the process and simply enjoyed the time lying in bed, no matter how long it took for you to drift off? The beauty of this practice is that it removes the pressure. You're not failing if you're not asleep in 5 minutes. Instead, you're simply allowing the process to unfold naturally, trusting that you are exactly where you need to be. Just like the Stoics embraced every twist and turn of life, you can embrace the rhythms of your own sleep cycle. By surrendering to what is, you remove the tension that keeps you awake and instead welcome peace. This is the true essence of acceptance. Choosing peace, no matter what. As you lie there, feel the comfort of knowing that you don't have to fight against anything. You can accept what is right here, right now. Allow it to be enough. With each breath, feel yourself sinking deeper into that acceptance. Your body relaxes, your mind quiets, and the space for peaceful sleep is created. The Stoics knew that the ultimate form of freedom comes from accepting what is beyond our control. As you practice this, let go of the need for perfection, for control. Just be here, in this moment, with your body, your breath, and your peaceful mind. Sleep will come when it's meant to. And in the meantime, you can rest knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. The more you practice this acceptance, the more natural it will feel to simply let go and drift into rest. Let's now explore a deeper layer of Stoic philosophy, finding comfort in the natural world around us, especially when preparing for a peaceful night's sleep. The Stoics often turned to nature for wisdom, using its rhythms and cycles to guide their actions and thoughts. It's no surprise then that nature can offer us tremendous insight when we seek rest. Think of it this way: every tree, every river, every mountain has its own rhythm, its own pace. The Stoics recognize that by aligning ourselves with the natural order, we too can find our own peace. Tonight, as you lie in your bed, let's take a moment to think about the vastness of nature, the endless cycles that unfold without effort. Imagine a tree standing tall in a forest, its roots firmly planted in the earth, its branches reaching towards the sky. The tree doesn't rush. It doesn't worry about tomorrow or what happened yesterday. It simply exists in its natural rhythm, content with its place in the world. You, too, can find a similar rhythm, a natural cadence that allows you to ease into sleep without struggle. When you embrace the idea that, just like the tree, you are part of something larger, something timeless, you start to realize that there's no need to force sleep to come. It will come naturally, just as the tree doesn't rush to grow, but does so at its own pace. As you lie there, think of how the sun rises and sets, how the moon waxes and wanes, how the tides come and go. All of these natural rhythms offer us a profound lesson in surrender. We don't control the moon's phases, and we don't force the tide to come in. These cycles unfold with perfect timing, and so does your sleep. You don't have to fight against the process of rest. In fact, the more you try to control it, the more elusive it becomes. But when you align yourself with the natural rhythms of your body and mind, sleep becomes effortless. Picture yourself in sync with the natural world, your breathing matching the rhythm of the tides, your body sinking into the mattress as easily as the setting sun disappears behind the horizon. There's no struggle in this. You simply allow it to happen, trusting in the rhythm of the world and your place in it. The Stoics taught us that we are part of nature, and when we accept that, we gain the ability to find calm amidst life's chaos. This acceptance doesn't just apply to your waking life, it's just as valuable when you're preparing for sleep. Imagine yourself as a part of this natural cycle, flowing with the rhythms of the world instead of resisting them. The Stoics didn't teach us to fight against nature's forces, but to understand them and live in harmony with them. And when it comes to sleep, the same principle applies. Your body has its own natural rhythm, one that doesn't need to be forced or hurried. It's important to honor that rhythm, to listen to your body's cues, and to allow sleep to come when it's ready. That means letting go of any expectations or frustrations that might arise as you try to rest. If you can align yourself with the natural order, you'll find that sleep comes with ease. Think of the quiet peace that nature provides, whether it's a calm forest, a gentle river, or the stillness of a mountain. You, too, can find this peace by letting go of the need to control. Just as the river flows with ease, allow your thoughts to flow naturally. Let them come and go without resistance, knowing that they are just like the water, constantly moving and constantly changing. When you stop clinging to your thoughts, you open up space for relaxation and sleep. Imagine the soothing sounds of nature surrounding you, now the rustling of leaves in the wind, the soft rush of water, the hum of the earth. These are the sounds of peace, and they are available to you right here, right now. You don't need to look for them outside. They are already within you, waiting for you to listen. As you begin to deepen your relaxation, notice how your body responds to this natural flow. Your breath becomes slower, more deliberate, and your body sinks deeper into your bed. You are no longer forcing anything. You are simply allowing yourself to be as nature intended. The Stoics believed that everything in nature has its place, its purpose, and its timing. When you embrace this idea, you realize that your own timing is just as perfect. You don't need to rush through your day, and you don't need to rush into sleep. Trust that everything will unfold as it should, in its own time. The more you accept this, the more peaceful your mind becomes, and the easier it is to drift into sleep. Picture yourself lying there, your breath flowing like a gentle stream, your body relaxed and at ease. You are part of the rhythm of nature, and in this moment, there is no need to do anything but rest. The Stoics also taught us about the importance of aligning our actions with the greater good of nature and the universe. This isn't just a lofty idea, it's a practical one. By understanding that we are interconnected with the world around us, we can find a deeper sense of purpose and peace. When you lie in bed, think of the world outside. Picture the trees, the stars, the animals, and the vastness of the earth. These things don't worry, they don't rush. They simply exist in harmony with their surroundings. And in this moment, you can do the same. By letting go of the need to control and simply being present, you create the perfect conditions for sleep. Your mind quiets, your body relaxes, and you are in tune with the natural world around you. The more you practice this kind of acceptance, the more you will find peace in every aspect of your life, even in your sleep. The Stoics believed that the world is a vast, interconnected system, and that we are all a part of it. When we understand this, we stop fighting against the flow of life. We stop resisting what we cannot change. Instead, we learn to embrace it, to live with it, and to find peace in that acceptance. And as you lie there, surrendering to the natural rhythm of the world, you find that peace is already here, waiting for you. With each breath, you become more aligned with the calm of the world around you. Your body is no longer tense, your mind no longer racing. You are simply here, in this moment, ready to rest. The Stoics would say that this is the essence of life, to be in harmony with the universe, to accept what is, and to let go of what isn't. And in this moment, as you lie in your bed, you are doing just that. You are embracing the natural flow of sleep, trusting that it will come when it's ready. There is no need to rush. There is no need to force it. You can simply let go and rest, knowing that you are in perfect harmony with the world and with yourself. And as you do, you fall deeper into relaxation, your body sinking into the mattress, your mind at peace. This is the gift of acceptance, the ability to rest, to let go, and to embrace the natural rhythm of life. Now, let's turn our focus to something fundamental, something that we all experience yet often overlook: the role of fear and anxiety in keeping us awake. Fear is a powerful force that can steal our peace, especially when we let it roam unchecked. In our minds, the Stoics knew that fear could be a source of great suffering, but they also understood that we have the power to confront and manage it. The Stoics didn't suggest that we should never feel fear, but rather they taught that we should acknowledge it, understand it, and then decide how to respond. Think about the times when you've been unable to sleep, not because of physical discomfort, but because your mind is filled with fear about something, whether it's a decision you have to make, an interaction you're dreading, or uncertainty about the future. These thoughts can create a storm in your mind, and like a storm, they can feel relentless. But here's the Stoic approach. Instead of letting fear rule over you, confront it head-on. The Stoics called this rational fear, meaning that they acknowledged fear when it was rational, when it was based on real danger, but they didn't let it control their thoughts or actions. For example, Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, often wrote about the importance of controlling one's emotions, even in the face of fear. He knew that fear could paralyze, but he also knew that the key to overcoming it was not to ignore it, but to look at it clearly and with a sense of perspective. When you're lying in bed and your mind begins to spiral with anxiety, ask yourself, is this fear rational? Is it something that I can control or change right now? Most of the time, the answer is no. The future is uncertain, and there's no point in worrying about things that haven't happened yet. By examining your fear through this Stoic lens, you can begin to diffuse its power. The more you practice this, the easier it will be to stop fear from keeping you awake. You'll start to realize that fear is just a thought, a feeling, not a command. And just as easily as you let a thought come, you can let it go, knowing that there's no need to hold on to it. As you settle more deeply into relaxation, take a moment to think about the nature of fear itself. Often, fear stems from our thoughts about future events that may or may not happen. The Stoics recognized that we cannot predict or control the future, so worrying about it is ultimately futile. Instead, they focused on controlling their present response. Picture yourself in bed, with your thoughts running wild, conjuring up worst-case scenarios. Now, instead of letting these fears consume you, imagine stepping back from them as if you were an observer. You can see these thoughts for what they are: mental projections of what might or might not happen. The Stoics would say that these fears are not reality. They are just stories your mind is telling you. You have the power to tell a different story, one where you accept the uncertainty of life without letting it dictate your state of mind. Fear, according to the Stoics, often arises from a sense of disempowerment. When we feel like we don't have control over a situation, fear naturally fills that space. But what if you could change your relationship to fear? What if you could view fear not as something to be avoided, but as an opportunity to practice resilience and self-control? The more you can accept the uncertainty of life, the less power fear has over you. You can rest knowing that whatever comes, you have the inner strength to deal with it. This sense of empowerment is one of the most powerful gifts Stoicism offers. It allows you to face life, not with fear, but with courage. And when you bring this mindset to your nighttime routine, you create an environment where fear doesn't keep you awake, but instead fades into the background. A key Stoic practice that can help you overcome fear is negative visualization. The Stoics would take a moment to imagine the worst-case scenario: losing a job, a loved one, or something they valued. In doing so, they learned to appreciate what they had, and they realized they could endure even the worst of circumstances. Now, this might sound counterintuitive, but it's a brilliant practice. By confronting the possibility of loss, you strip fear of its power. You realize that even if the worst happens, you can handle it. When fear keeps you awake at night, you can use negative visualization to shift your perspective. Imagine the worst-case scenario, perhaps your work situation or a relationship issue, and instead of letting it spiral into anxiety, think about how you would respond. What would you do if that fear came true? The Stoics didn't dwell on the fear itself, but on their ability to handle it with grace and resilience. This practice takes the sting out of fear. It turns it from a looming threat into a manageable possibility. And when you can face your fears with this kind of clarity, they lose their power to disrupt your peace. As you lie in bed, picture yourself confronting your fears and handling them with the same calm and clarity that the Stoics advocated. You are not helpless. You are in control of your responses. When you realize that you can handle whatever life throws at you, you allow yourself to rest peacefully, free from the anxiety that often accompanies fear. Now, let's return to the present moment and your breath. One of the most effective ways to reduce fear and anxiety is through mindful breathing. You've probably heard this before, but it's incredibly effective. When you breathe deeply, slowly, and mindfully, you activate your body's relaxation response. With each deep breath, you send a signal to your brain that it's time to relax, to let go of the tension, and to allow your body to return to its natural state of calm. As you lie in bed, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, imagine releasing all the fear, all the tension, all the anxiety. Imagine that each breath carries away the weight of the day, leaving you lighter and more at ease. The Stoics believed that we could find peace by focusing on the present moment and letting go of what we cannot control. Breathing mindfully brings you back to the present, where fear cannot thrive. It's a simple yet powerful practice. Each breath becomes a reminder that you are safe, you are in control, and you can let go of fear. As you continue breathing deeply, feel yourself sinking deeper into relaxation, your body unwinding, your mind quieting. Fear no longer has a hold on you. You've confronted it, acknowledged it, and now you can let it fade away. making space for peace and rest. Imagine, as you breathe deeply, that you are releasing not just the fear of today, but the fear of tomorrow as well. By focusing on your breath, you remind yourself that the future is uncertain, but you can trust yourself to handle whatever comes. This is the Stoic way, finding peace in the midst of uncertainty, resilience in the face of fear. With each breath, you reaffirm that you have the strength to meet life's challenges, and with that knowledge, you allow yourself to rest deeply and peacefully. Now that you've gently calmed your mind and eased into the present moment, let's explore another profound Stoic practice: negative visualization. This practice, although it may seem unusual at first, has the potential to radically shift the way you approach anxiety, stress, and even your ability to fall asleep. Negative visualization is not about dwelling on negativity or attracting misfortune. Instead, it's about mentally preparing yourself for the worst-case scenario, facing it with clarity, and finding peace in the process. Think of it as a mental tool that helps you detach from the need for everything to go perfectly and enables you to embrace life's impermanence. Imagine lying in bed, your thoughts wandering to the anxieties of the day. Your mind starts racing, replaying conversations, considering what might go wrong in the future. You feel your pulse quicken, your breathing shallow. Now, instead of letting these thoughts spiral into a full-blown anxiety attack, what if you took a moment to consider what might happen if the worst outcome occurred? Imagine the worst-case scenario with the same calm clarity that a Stoic would bring to it. What if that project you're stressing about doesn't go well? What if you don't get the promotion? What if someone you love is hurt or disappointed? Instead of resisting these fears, embrace them for a moment. Picture the situation in detail, and as you do, notice how your body responds. When we face our fears head-on, we realize that, often, they are not as insurmountable as they appear. The Stoics taught that by contemplating the worst, we can come to terms with it. We stop fearing the unknown and start realizing that we have the strength to handle whatever comes our way. And as you picture these fears, realize that you would find a way to cope. You would find strength you didn't know you had. You would learn, adapt, and ultimately persevere. This practice doesn't bring misery, it brings perspective, and it brings freedom from the paralyzing hold of fear. As you think about these worst-case scenarios, let's also consider how this practice helps you let go of your attachment to specific outcomes. In life, we often find ourselves clinging to expectations, hoping for a specific result, wishing for things to unfold in a particular way. But what happens when things don't go according to plan? The Stoics would say that we should not place our happiness or peace of mind in things outside our control. If you tie your peace to external outcomes, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Instead, they recommend practicing acceptance of whatever comes your way, whether it's good or bad, easy or difficult. The more you accept that outcomes are beyond your control, the more you can find peace in the process, not just in the results. This is especially important when it comes to sleep. Many of us try to force sleep to happen, making it an outcome that we feel we must achieve. But here's the thing: when we place too much focus on the outcome, the struggle becomes even more intense. The more you try to sleep, the more elusive it becomes. The solution is not to fight against it, but to trust the process, to let go of your attachment to sleep and simply allow it to unfold when it's ready. In this way, you can cultivate patience with yourself. You can release the pressure and simply be present in the moment, knowing that sleep will come in its own time. Negative visualization when practiced in this way, helps you prepare for life's uncertainties. And it teaches you to let go of the need to control the outcome. It allows you to find peace with what is right here, right now. As you lie in bed, let's take a moment to visualize the night ahead. Instead of worrying about how long it might take for you to fall asleep, imagine yourself drifting off easily and naturally, letting the rhythm of your breath guide you. Think about your body as it relaxes into the mattress, the weight of the day slowly lifting from your shoulders. With each breath, you release more tension. You stop trying to force sleep, and instead, you trust that it will come when it's meant to. Negative visualization also teaches us that sometimes things don't go as planned, but that's okay. You don't need to be afraid of it. If sleep doesn't come immediately, you simply allow yourself to relax and accept the moment. The Stoics would encourage you to remember that everything is temporary, even the discomfort of not falling asleep right away. It's part of the flow of life, and it will pass. The more you practice this acceptance, the easier it becomes to let go and trust in the natural rhythm of your body. With each exhale, you breathe out your frustrations. You release your attachment to a specific outcome, and you rest in the knowing that you don't need to control everything. By doing this, you create space for peace and relaxation, and in that space, sleep can naturally occur. In a similar way, the Stoics practiced gratitude in all situations, even the challenging ones. Negative visualization isn't just about imagining. The worst, it's also about appreciating what you have in the present moment. When you think about the worst-case scenario, it can put into perspective the things that truly matter in your life. What do you appreciate most in this moment? It's easy to get caught up in worry and stress, but the Stoics remind us to take a moment to reflect on what is good, what is stable, and what we can be thankful for. When you practice gratitude, even in times of fear or uncertainty, you shift your focus from what could go wrong to what is already right in your life. Tonight, as you settle deeper into your bed, let gratitude be your anchor. Think about the warmth of your blankets, the comfort of your pillow, the stillness of the night. These simple things, which we often take for granted, are gifts that can bring a deep sense of peace. The Stoics believed that gratitude was a key to living a virtuous life, and it's a powerful tool to quiet the mind before sleep. Gratitude helps shift your focus away from fear, away from what could go wrong, and instead brings your attention to what is right. And with that shift, you'll find yourself drifting more easily into a peaceful, restorative sleep. Imagine now, as you lie in bed, that you are completely free from worry. You are not concerned about tomorrow or what might happen in the future. You are simply here, in this moment, appreciating the peace that surrounds you. As you practice negative visualization and gratitude, you begin to let go of any fears or anxieties that might otherwise keep you awake. You trust that everything will unfold as it should. You trust that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. And with that trust, you let yourself relax more deeply. Each breath becomes a reminder that you are safe, that you are enough, and that sleep will come when it's meant to. There is no need to rush. There is only the present moment, and in this moment, you are at peace. You are exactly where you need to be, and you can rest fully, knowing that tomorrow will come in its own time. As you continue to relax, let's explore one of the most soothing concepts in Stoic philosophy, the idea that life is like a play, and we each have our own role to play within it. This powerful metaphor was introduced by the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who often reminded his followers that we are all actors in a grand drama, and the universe is the stage. Imagine for a moment that you're watching a play unfold before you. The actors move and speak, but they don't control the script, they don't determine the outcome. They're simply playing their roles to the best of their ability, doing what they've been assigned to do. Now, think about your own life. You may not have chosen the circumstances you're in, but you have been assigned your role, and it's up to you to play it well. This metaphor has an incredibly calming effect when you're preparing for sleep. Life can often feel overwhelming. There's always so much to do, and the weight of responsibility can feel crushing at times. But what if you saw yourself as an actor, playing your part in this vast cosmic drama? There's a deep sense of relief that comes from realizing you don't have to control everything. You don't need to change the script. Your role is already set, and all you need to do is play it with grace and courage. And, just like in a play, the scene you're in right now is just one part of a much larger story. This is important to remember when you're feeling stressed or anxious about the future. The Stoics would remind you that there is no need to rush ahead to try and jump to the next scene. You are in the present moment, and that is enough. In fact, it's all you truly have. As you lie in bed, let yourself take on this metaphor. Imagine yourself as an actor, gracefully playing your role in this moment. There is no pressure to change anything, to rush anything. You are exactly where you need to be. Sleep will come, just like the next scene in a play. The beauty of this metaphor is that it helps us release the pressure we put on ourselves. We often think that we must control every outcome, that we must be responsible for every aspect of our lives. But the truth is, some things are beyond our control, and we can't possibly anticipate every twist and turn. The Stoics were not suggesting that we should simply sit back and do nothing. On the contrary, they encouraged us to play our role to the best of our ability, to act with virtue, wisdom, and courage. But they also recognized that the play is not ours to script. The events of the world, the things that happen to us, are not within our control. This recognition allows us to let go of the need to control everything. And when we do, we free ourselves from the anxiety that comes with trying to orchestrate every detail of life. Think about it. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you give yourself permission to simply be. You can relax into your role, trusting that the script will unfold as it's meant to. You no longer need to hold on to the outcome, because you trust the process. When it comes to sleep, this is a game changer. Instead of worrying about how long it will take or whether you'll sleep well, you simply allow yourself to take your role in the present moment. Your role is to rest. Your job is to let go, to relax, to trust that sleep will come when it's ready. The more you embrace this mindset, the easier it becomes to settle into peaceful rest. Now, let's focus on the concept of acceptance once more. This Stoic principle is at the heart of the idea that life is a play. The Stoics taught us to accept what we cannot change. We are not in control of the script, but we are in control of how we perform our role, and that performance doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, it's the imperfections that make the story beautiful. When you accept your role, imperfections and all, you stop fighting against life. You stop resisting the flow of events, and instead, you align yourself with them. This acceptance doesn't mean that you stop striving for improvement or that you give up on your goals. It means that you accept where you are right now and trust that everything is unfolding as it should. This is crucial when it comes to sleep. We often lie in bed, trying to force sleep, wishing it would come more quickly. But what if you embraced the moment as it is? What if you accepted that sleep will come when it's meant to, And in the meantime, you can simply relax and enjoy the present moment. This shift in mindset is incredibly powerful. It allows you to let go of the stress and anxiety that often accompany the desire for sleep. Instead of forcing it, you surrender to the process, trusting that sleep will find you when the time is right. Imagine yourself in this moment, lying in bed, fully accepting where you are. Your role right now is to rest. You don't need to do anything else. There's no rush, no pressure, no need to achieve anything. All you need to do is breathe, relax, and trust that sleep will come when it's ready. As you breathe deeply, feel the tension leaving your body. With each exhale, you release any remaining thoughts of stress, anxiety, or control. You are not in charge of the script, but you are fully present in the role you're playing. There's something incredibly freeing about this acceptance. It allows you to let go of the pressure you put on yourself, and in doing so, it creates the perfect conditions for sleep. When you accept your role in life, both in the waking world and in the world of dreams, you embrace the flow of life instead of fighting against it. This acceptance leads to peace, and it's that peace that prepares you for restful sleep. As you continue to relax, think about the play of life from a bigger perspective. Just as the actors in a play can only do their best in the scenes they're given, you too can only do your best with the circumstances you have. You cannot control the events that happen around you, but you can control how you respond to them. And when you respond with calm, grace, and acceptance, you free yourself from the weight of worry. Your role is to live fully in the present moment, trusting that everything will unfold as it should. And when it's time for sleep, your role is to let go, to release the tension, and to trust that the next scene will come when it's ready. With each breath, feel yourself becoming lighter. There's no need to rush. There's no need to worry. You are exactly where you need to be. The script is unfolding perfectly, and you are playing your role with ease. In this moment, you can relax, knowing that sleep will come naturally when the time is right. And with that trust, you let go, and your body sinks deeper into the comfort of the bed, ready to rest. As we continue our journey tonight, let's shift our focus to a subject that may initially seem morbid, yet brings a deep sense of peace: the Stoic view on mortality and death. It's a concept that might seem unusual in the context of sleep, but stick with me here. The Stoics had a unique approach to death, one that was both realistic and surprisingly calming. Instead of shying away from the thought of death, the Stoics embraced it. They believed that contemplating death regularly helped us live more fully and with greater appreciation for the present moment. As you lie in bed, think for a moment about your own mortality, not in a fearful or morbid way, but as a reminder that life is fleeting. Stoic philosophers like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of keeping death in mind as a way of embracing life more fully. They didn't see death as something to fear, but as an inevitable part of the natural order. In fact, they argued that fear of death only prevents us from truly living. Picture yourself lying there, your breath slow and steady, reflecting on the reality that life is transient. This isn't meant to make you anxious, it's meant to bring clarity. By contemplating mortality, we are reminded that our time is limited, and that reminder can free us from the petty worries that keep us awake at night. The Stoics understood that death, while inevitable, is not to be feared. Instead, it's an invitation to live intentionally, to focus on what truly matters. Imagine, for a moment, that every day is a gift, not guaranteed, but precious. The more you meditate on this, the more you'll realize that your current worries, the things that keep you awake, pale in comparison to the profound realization that your time is limited. Instead of seeing death as something to avoid thinking about, the Stoics would encourage you to embrace it as a motivator for living with purpose, intention, and clarity. Now, let's bring this idea into the context of sleep. One of the most powerful things you can do before sleep is to accept the impermanence of life. When we accept that all things, our thoughts, our feelings, our experiences are temporary, we stop clinging to them. We stop trying to control them. And this, my friend, is where the magic happens. As you lie in bed, think about the fleeting nature of your thoughts. Picture them as clouds passing across the sky, each one a transient idea that doesn't need to stay. Just as the clouds pass, so do your worries, anxieties, and thoughts of the day. The more you embrace the idea that everything is temporary, the more you release your attachment to these thoughts. And when you release them, you free yourself to sleep more deeply. Death, when viewed from the Stoic perspective, isn't something to avoid thinking about, but something that helps you live more fully in the present. As you reflect on your life's impermanence, you begin to realize that your worries are not as important as they may seem. They don't need to keep you awake at night. Instead, you can release them, knowing that they too are temporary. This acceptance, rooted in the understanding that life and time are finite, brings a profound sense of peace that enhances your ability to rest. This practice of contemplating mortality is also tied to the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control. The Stoics understood that we cannot control death, nor can we avoid its eventual arrival. But what we can control is how we live, and that's where our power lies. Instead of worrying about what's out of our control, we can focus on how we choose to spend our time. As you lie in bed, reflect on how you've lived today. Did you act with kindness, wisdom, and courage? Did you make choices that align with your values? These questions are not meant to judge you, but to help you reflect on the day with clarity. Remember, the Stoics didn't believe in perfection, but in striving to live with virtue and purpose each day. And this brings us back to the topic of sleep. When you reflect on the day with a sense of purpose, accepting that there is nothing you can do to change the past, you make space for rest. There's no need to dwell on what went wrong or what could have been better. You've done your best, and now it's time to rest. This shift in mindset from dwelling on the past to accepting it creates the mental space necessary for peaceful sleep. Think of your mind as a pond. When you reflect on your day, your thoughts can create ripples in the water. But when you accept that today is over and there's nothing more to be done, you allow the water to settle. The ripples fade away, and the water becomes still. This is what we want when we prepare for sleep stillness. The Stoics would encourage you to reflect on your day not with judgment, but with acceptance, knowing that the day is finished and tomorrow is a new opportunity. You cannot control what happens next, but you can control how you respond to it. And as you lie in bed, feeling your body relax with each breath, allow your thoughts to settle in the same way. Release the ripples. Let them go. Sleep is not something you need to chase. Instead, it's something that naturally follows when you allow your mind to quiet and your body to release tension. As you continue to breathe deeply, think about the simplicity of life and how little we need to be at peace. The Stoics believed that happiness and peace are found in living according to nature, in accepting the world as it is. And the natural rhythm of your body, as it prepares for sleep, is a perfect example of this. You don't need to force anything. You simply need to be present, accepting the rhythm of your breath, the relaxation of your body, and the natural course of your thoughts. As you feel yourself sinking deeper into the bed, think about how you're already at peace, how you are in perfect alignment with the present moment. There's nothing more you need to do. There's no need to change anything. You can trust that sleep will come, just like all the other natural processes in the world. You are part of nature, and just as the sun sets every evening, your body knows how to rest when the time is right. So tonight, embrace the idea of mortality, not as something to fear, but as something that helps you live with greater purpose and peace. Reflect on your day with acceptance, knowing that it is now over. And as you let go of your worries, you create the space for rest. The Stoic idea of mortality is not a burden, but a gift, a reminder that life is precious and sleep is a natural part of that precious experience. Embrace it fully, knowing that sleep will come when you stop fighting it and simply allow it to unfold, just as the world around you does. Let's now focus on one of the most powerful principles in Stoic philosophy, self-control. The Stoics believed that our happiness and peace come not from external circumstances, but from our ability to control our own reactions and desires. It's an idea that can drastically change how you approach not only life, but also sleep. Think about it for a moment. How often do you lie in bed, unable to sleep, because your mind is racing with desires, thoughts about things you wish you had done, things you wish you could change, or things you long for in the future? The Stoics would suggest that these desires are not inherently bad, but the trouble comes when we allow them to control us. Desires, when unchecked, can create anxiety, restlessness, and mental turmoil. The key to peace, whether you're awake or asleep, is learning to control these desires and accept things as they are. Imagine yourself lying in bed right now, and instead of letting your thoughts spiral into worry about what you didn't accomplish today or what you hope to achieve tomorrow, you simply observe those thoughts without judgment. You allow them to exist, but you don't let them consume you. This is self-control in action. The Stoics believed that we can't control external events, but we can control how we respond to them, and that includes our desires. You may desire a certain outcome or want something specific in your life, but the Stoics would remind you that your peace does not depend on achieving those desires. You can be content in the present moment, even if things aren't exactly as you want them to be. When you practice this kind of self-control, you free yourself from the constant tug of desire. You create space for peace, for calm, and for relaxation. And that's exactly what you need for sleep. Now, let's bring this idea of self-control into the context of your nighttime routine. How many times have you gone to bed only to find that your mind is still racing with all the things you need to do or want to achieve? You may have difficulty letting go of those thoughts because your desire to solve problems or complete tasks is so strong. But here's where the Stoics offer a different perspective. Sleep is not something to be forced or controlled. Just as we can't force ourselves to be happy or content, we can't force ourselves to sleep. However, we can exercise self-control by letting go of the desire for immediate results. When you lie in bed, trust that sleep will come when your mind is quiet and your body is relaxed. Self-control here means releasing the need to control the process and simply allowing it to happen. This doesn't mean giving up, it means accepting that sleep is a natural process that will unfold when the time is right. You can't rush it, and you don't need to. Instead, focus on releasing any thoughts or desires that are keeping you awake. Picture your thoughts as leaves on a stream, gently floating away with each exhale. Allow yourself to relax into the rhythm of your breath and trust that rest will come when it's meant to. This is a practice of self-control, not trying to control the world or your thoughts, but controlling your reactions to them by letting go of the need to force sleep. You create the conditions for it to come naturally. Think about how this principle of self-control applies to your emotions as well. When we lie in bed, our minds often replay interactions from the day, rehashing conversations, feelings, or experiences. These emotional reactions can keep us up, especially if we're frustrated, anxious, or upset. The Stoics taught us to master our emotions, not by suppressing them, but by observing them without getting caught up in them. Imagine lying in bed and having an emotion arise, maybe frustration about something that happened today. Instead of getting caught up in that emotion, you can practice self-control by acknowledging it, but then choosing not to dwell on it. You can simply let the emotion pass, knowing that it doesn't need to control you. This is the essence of Stoic self-control, recognizing that emotions, like thoughts, are temporary. They arise and then they pass. You don't need to hold on to them. You can choose how to respond to them. When you practice this kind of emotional self-control, you make room for peace, and with that peace, sleep comes more easily. You're not resisting the emotion, but you're not allowing it to dictate your state of being either. This is true mastery over yourself, the ability to feel but not be controlled by what you feel. Self-control also means not giving in to impulses. The Stoics were all about living a life of moderation, avoiding excess and embracing balance. Think about how often we give in to impulses throughout the day, whether it's eating something we don't need, spending too much time on our phones, or indulging in thoughts that don't serve us. These impulses are fleeting, but they can easily take control if we let them. At night, this can show up in the form of racing thoughts, restlessness, or the temptation to check your phone instead of resting. Practicing self-control means acknowledging these impulses and choosing to let them go. Instead of giving in to the urge to scroll or worry, you choose to focus on your breath, to relax your body, and to allow the stillness of the night to settle over you. You practice moderation by saying no to the impulses that keep you awake and yes to the peace that comes with relaxation. By exercising self-control, you strengthen your ability to sleep peacefully and naturally. You're teaching your body and mind that rest is the priority and that everything else can wait. As you lie in bed now, feel the power of self-control within you. You don't need to chase after sleep. You simply need to create the conditions for it. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes from the ability to control your own actions, your thoughts, and your responses. As you relax into your bed, remember that you are free to let go of everything that doesn't serve your peace. You are free to choose not to engage with thoughts, feelings, or impulses that keep you awake. You are free to trust in the natural rhythm of your body and the process of sleep. With each breath, you practice self-control by choosing peace over restlessness, relaxation over anxiety. As you continue to breathe deeply, feel yourself becoming more and more at ease, letting go of anything that doesn't need to be there. Sleep will come when it's ready, and you don't need to force it. You simply need to let go and trust that your body knows exactly what to do. You have the power to control your thoughts, your desires, and your reactions, and with that power comes the ability to rest peacefully. The more you practice self-control, the more you'll find that sleep becomes a natural part of your routine, a rhythm you can flow with, rather than struggle against. And in that flow, you will find the peace and rest you've been seeking. As we move deeper into this peaceful journey, let's reflect on the powerful Stoic concept of living in the present. The Stoics believed that the only moment we truly control is the present one. Past regrets and future worries are nothing more than distractions, mental chains that keep us from fully experiencing and embracing the here and now. When we focus too much on what has happened or what might happen, we rob ourselves of the peace that comes from simply being present. This is particularly important when it comes to sleep. How often do we lie in bed thinking about all the things we didn't do today or all the things we need to do tomorrow? These thoughts prevent us from being present in the moment. They keep our minds busy and restless, which makes it nearly impossible to relax enough to fall asleep. The Stoics, however, would encourage us to let go of these distractions. They would remind us that the present is all we truly have. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain, but the present is always within our reach. Imagine for a moment that you are lying in bed and you start to notice the thoughts drifting into your mind, thoughts of work, of plans for tomorrow, or of things you wish you had done today. Instead of allowing these thoughts to carry you away, simply observe them. Acknowledge that they are there, but don't let them control you. Gently bring your focus back to the present moment. Notice the feeling of the bed beneath you, the softness of your sheets, the rhythm of your breath. These are the sensations of the present, and they are the key to finding peace. By focusing on the here and now, you can release the mental clutter that keeps you awake. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to let go of the need to control everything, and instead, you can relax into the present moment, fully at peace with yourself and the world around you. The beauty of living in the present, according to Stoic philosophy, is that it allows us to stop fighting against the flow of life. We often resist what is happening right now, wishing that things were different, that we had made other choices, or that the future would unfold in a certain way. But when we focus on the present, we stop fighting, we stop wishing for what could be, and we start accepting what is. Think about how much energy you spend worrying about tomorrow. Maybe you're thinking about a meeting, a deadline, or a conversation you need to have. The Stoics would say that this kind of thinking only causes unnecessary stress. You can't control the future, and worrying about it will not change anything. Instead, they would encourage you to focus on what you can do right now. Breathe, relax, and let go of the need to control the future. The present moment is the only time where peace can be found. And right now, as you lie in bed, there is nothing you need to do but be present. There is no need to rush through the night, no need to worry about tomorrow. Just allow yourself to be here in this moment, fully aware of the sensations around you, the weight of the blankets, the warmth of the room, the sound of your breath as it moves in and out. This is where your peace lies. This is where your rest begins. The Stoics also emphasize the importance of mindfulness in every moment. To be truly present, we need to observe our thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment. This mindfulness practice helps us detach from our emotions and external events, allowing us to find peace regardless of what's happening around us. So, as you lie in bed, take a moment to check in with yourself. Notice any sensations in your body: tension in your shoulders, tightness in your jaw, or perhaps a fluttering in your chest. Simply observe these sensations without trying to change them. Now, gently bring your attention to your thoughts. What's running through your mind? Are you thinking about something you need to do tomorrow? Are you worrying about something you said today? Again, just observe these thoughts. Don't judge them. Don't try to push them away. Let them come and go like clouds in the sky. This practice of mindfulness is powerful because it helps you realize that you are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the observer of these things. And when you detach from your thoughts and emotions, you create the space for true relaxation. You no longer feel compelled to act on every thought that comes to mind. Instead, you can simply let them pass by, like leaves floating down a stream. The more you practice this mindfulness, the easier it becomes to let go of the distractions that keep you awake at night. You stop identifying with every thought, every feeling, and you return to the present moment, where peace is always waiting. The key to finding peace in the present is acceptance. The Stoics taught us that we must accept the present moment for what it is, not what we wish it to be. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It doesn't mean giving up or settling for less. It simply means embracing the reality of what is happening right now. Think about how often we resist the present moment. Maybe you're lying in bed and you're frustrated that you can't sleep. You might be thinking, I should have fallen asleep by now, or I have so many things to do tomorrow. These thoughts are forms of resistance. They prevent you from being present. But if you can accept that, in this moment, sleep hasn't come yet, you create space for relaxation. You release the tension that comes from fighting against the present. Acceptance is a powerful tool because it allows you to let go of the need to control everything. It helps you embrace what is, rather than wishing for something different. And when you accept the present moment, you can relax into it, knowing that sleep will come when it's ready. There's no need to force it. There's no need to rush. Just allow yourself to be in this moment, to rest in the stillness and trust that sleep will find you when the time is right. Let's return to the idea of mindfulness. Imagine that every breath you take is an opportunity to return to the present. With each inhale, you bring your awareness back to your body, to the sensations of the moment. With each exhale, you let go of the distractions, the worries, and the thoughts that are keeping you from peace. The more you practice mindfulness, the more you cultivate a sense of presence. You stop getting caught up in the past or the future. You stop worrying about what might happen or what has already happened. You simply allow yourself to be here, now. This is the heart of Stoic philosophy, the ability to embrace the present moment with acceptance and mindfulness. And when you can do this, you create the perfect conditions for rest. Sleep is not something you need to chase. It is something that naturally follows when you allow your mind and body to be at ease. So, as you lie in bed tonight, focus on the present moment. Breathe deeply. Let go of any lingering thoughts. Release the need to control everything. And trust that sleep will come when it's ready. You are exactly where you need to be, and in this moment, you can rest in peace. Now that we've journeyed through the intricacies of Stoic practices, let's explore the role of virtue in cultivating inner peace, something that the Stoics placed at the heart of their philosophy. Virtue, in Stoic terms, is the foundation of a good life. It's not about performing virtuous actions for external validation, but about embodying moral excellence as part of who you are. The four central Stoic virtues, courage, justice, and temperance serve as the guiding principles for how we interact with the world, with others, and with ourselves. As you settle into your bed, allow yourself to think about these virtues. What would it be like to embody them fully, to live with wisdom in every decision, with courage in every challenge, with justice in every relationship, and with temperance in every action? The Stoics believed that when you live in accordance with these virtues, you find true happiness and peace. This applies to all aspects of your life, including your ability to rest. Let's break it down further. Wisdom, in Stoic philosophy, is about seeing the world clearly, without delusion. It means understanding what is within your control and what is not, and using that knowledge to make thoughtful decisions. When you practice wisdom, you let go of unnecessary worries and frustrations, realizing that many things are beyond your control. You focus on what you can change: your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. This clarity of mind is essential for sleep. When you're in bed, unable to sleep, your mind can often become cluttered with endless thoughts and distractions. But if you apply wisdom, you can see these thoughts for what they are: temporary, fleeting, and ultimately out of your control. You can acknowledge them without allowing them to dominate your mind. By embracing wisdom, you clear the path for relaxation, allowing yourself to rest without the weight of unresolved thoughts. Next, let's look at courage. Courage isn't just about facing physical dangers. It's about confronting the fears and anxieties that often keep us awake at night. The Stoics believed that courage was essential in the pursuit of peace. It takes courage to face our emotions, to acknowledge our fears, and to deal with life's challenges head-on. As you lie in bed, think about the fears that may be keeping you awake, whether it's fear of the future, fear of failure, or fear of the unknown. These fears are natural, but they don't have to control you. By embodying courage, you choose not to be ruled by fear. You acknowledge it, but you don't let it take over your thoughts. The Stoics practiced courage by accepting that life is full of uncertainty, but that we can face it with a calm mind and a strong heart. Picture yourself breathing deeply and releasing the grip of fear. With each breath, feel yourself becoming more grounded, more courageous. You don't need to solve everything right now. Courage means accepting the unknown, trusting that you have the strength to face whatever comes your way. And with that courage, you create the space for peaceful rest. When fear is no longer holding you hostage, sleep becomes an opportunity to restore your mind and body, free from the anxiety that often keeps you awake. Justice. Another key Stoic virtue is about fairness, integrity, and acting with compassion towards others. It's also about being just with yourself, giving yourself the space and the grace to rest. How often do you push yourself, thinking you need to accomplish more, be more, or do more? The Stoics believed that true justice is about recognizing the inherent value of every moment, of treating yourself with the same care and compassion that you would offer to others. When it comes to sleep, this means being just with your own need for rest. You deserve it. You are not a machine that can operate endlessly. You are human, and your body and mind need rest to function at their best. Think of it this way. By giving yourself permission to rest, you are being just to yourself. You're honoring your needs, just as you would honor the needs of a loved one. So, as you lie there, allow yourself to rest without guilt. Release the thoughts that tell you you're not doing enough, that you should be accomplishing more. You have done enough for today. Now, you deserve peace. This act of self-justice, the act of allowing yourself to rest, is an essential part of your well-being. So, breathe deeply, let go of any remaining thoughts, and trust that sleep is not only your right, but your reward for all that you've accomplished today. Finally, let's consider temperance. Temperance is about balance. It's the ability to regulate our desires and actions, avoiding excess and embracing moderation. The Stoics taught that true peace comes from living a balanced life, one where we don't indulge in extremes. When it comes to sleep, temperance is essential. We often approach sleep with urgency, desperation even, especially when we're tired. We want sleep to come now, but the Stoics would advise against this rush. Sleep is a natural process, and like all natural processes, it unfolds in its own time. When we try to rush it or force it, we only create tension. Temperance means understanding that you don't need to control every aspect of your rest. Sleep will come when you allow it to. And by practicing temperance, you learn to let go of the desire to control the process. You can relax into the rhythm of your breath, trusting that your body knows exactly what to do. Temperance also means not allowing distractions to pull you away from rest. It's so easy to reach for your phone, to check the time, to scroll through endless social media feeds. But by exercising temperance, you choose to disconnect from these distractions, knowing that they only keep your mind active and prevent you from truly resting. Instead, you focus on your breath, on the present moment, and on the simple act of allowing your body to relax. As you do this, you create the perfect conditions for deep, restorative sleep. The more you practice temperance in your daily life, the easier it becomes to embrace the peaceful rhythm of sleep without rushing, without anxiety, and without excess. As you lie there, reflecting on these Stoic virtues, imagine how they can shape your approach to sleep. Wisdom helps you clear your mind and focus on what truly matters. Courage allows you to face your fears and release anxiety. Justice encourages you to honor your need for rest and relaxation. Temperance reminds you to find balance, letting go of the desire to control and simply allowing sleep to unfold. These virtues, when practiced consistently, create a life of peace, both in your waking hours and in your sleep. So tonight, as you lie in bed, take a moment to honor these virtues within yourself. Recognize that you are worthy of rest, that you have the wisdom, courage, and temperance to find peace, and that sleep will come when you allow it to. With each deep breath, feel yourself becoming more in tune with your body, more at peace with your mind, and more aligned with the natural rhythm of rest. Trust that sleep is your reward for living according to these virtues, and as you embrace them, you open the door to deep, restorative sleep. As we continue our peaceful journey tonight, let's explore the power of empathy and forgiveness, both of which are deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. Stoicism doesn't just focus on personal virtue in terms of wisdom, courage, and self-control. Also encourages us to treat others with understanding and compassion. It teaches us that one of the keys to finding inner peace and calm is letting go of resentment and the need to hold grudges. It's not always easy, especially when we've been hurt or wronged by others. But the Stoics knew that forgiveness was not about excusing the behavior of others. Rather, it was about freeing ourselves from the emotional burden that comes with holding on to anger, resentment, and hurt. Think about the times when you've held onto a grudge, lying in bed with feelings of bitterness or frustration toward someone. These negative emotions can have a huge impact on your ability to sleep. The more we focus on how someone wronged us, the more we allow those negative emotions to take up mental and emotional space, leaving us unable to truly relax. The Stoics, however, understood that the one thing we truly have control over is how we respond to others. We can choose to let go of negative emotions and free ourselves from the weight of holding on to them. Imagine lying in bed tonight, feeling the emotional tension of the day slowly draining from your body. As you breathe deeply, reflect on any resentments or grudges you may be carrying. With each breath, allow yourself to release them. You don't need to justify the wrongs or make them right. You simply need to let them go, not for the sake of the person who wronged you, but for your own peace. In Stoic terms, This is about recognizing that we are all imperfect and that we cannot control the actions of others. But we can control how we let those actions affect us. Forgiveness is the release of that control, letting go of the desire for retribution or correction, and choosing to accept things as they are. By doing so, you free yourself from the emotional weight that holds you back from finding peace. And once you've let go, you create space for your mind and body to relax fully, allowing sleep to come naturally. In Stoic thought, forgiveness is closely tied to the understanding that everyone is acting according to their own perceptions and experiences. No one is perfect, and everyone has their own struggles. We all make mistakes, and in some cases, we hurt others without meaning to, just as we may have been hurt by others. The Stoics taught us to approach others with compassion, understanding that their actions are often reflections of their own internal struggles, not of who they are as a person. This perspective can help us find empathy even toward those who may have wronged us. Imagine, for a moment, that you're lying in bed thinking about a difficult conversation or situation with someone. Instead of focusing on the hurt or frustration they caused you, try to put yourself in their shoes. What were they feeling? What might they have been going through that led to their behavior? While this doesn't excuse hurtful actions, it can help you see the situation from a more balanced and compassionate perspective. When you open yourself up to empathy, you remove the emotional weight that prevents you from moving forward. You stop seeing the person as an antagonist and instead recognize their humanity. This shift in perspective doesn't only ease your mind, but it also brings peace. It allows you to forgive and release any negativity that might otherwise keep you awake, and by doing so, you free yourself to rest peacefully. Empathy, as the Stoics teach, is not about excusing behavior, but about seeing the world through others' eyes and choosing to respond with understanding rather than anger or frustration. And as you lie in bed tonight, practicing this kind of empathy toward others, you will find that forgiveness and peace naturally follow. This act of letting go, of releasing negative emotions and forgiving others, is closely linked to the Stoic idea of acceptance. As we've discussed before, Stoicism teaches us to accept things as they are, what happens to us, the actions of others, and even our own limitations. But this is not about passivity or resignation. It's about recognizing that we can only control ourselves, and that we are at peace with whatever comes our way. When we practice forgiveness, we accept that the wrongs of others are part of life, and instead of fighting against them, we let them go. This act of acceptance is not easy, especially when we feel wronged, but the Stoics would argue that it's essential for our peace of mind. When you forgive, you stop carrying the weight of resentment. You stop letting the past define your present, and in that release, you create space for the present moment. In the context of sleep, this acceptance of the past, of letting go of grudges and emotional burdens, clears your mind and allows you to relax. When you are no longer fixated on past hurts, you are able to fully immerse yourself in the quiet of the night, free from the emotional distractions that prevent you from resting. So, as you lie in bed, breathe deeply and visualize yourself releasing any lingering anger, frustration, or hurt. See it melting away with every exhale. Trust that, by forgiving, you are doing it not for the other person, but for your own well-being, your own peace. This is the heart of Stoic philosophy, choosing peace over strife, acceptance over resistance, and understanding over judgment as we move closer to sleep. Take a moment to reflect on your journey tonight. You've already practiced self-control, mindfulness, acceptance, and forgiveness. You've allowed the wisdom of Stoic teachings to guide you toward inner peace. And now, as you let go of all the distractions, you are ready to rest. Sleep is not something to force. It is a natural process that will come when you create the conditions for it, by releasing negativity, by being present, by embracing the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Each breath you take is an invitation to let go of the day and embrace the calm of the night. Each exhale is a reminder that you are safe, you are at peace, and you are exactly where you need to be. As you allow yourself to relax, let go of any remaining tensions and surrender to the rhythm of your breath. Trust that sleep will come naturally in its own time. And with that, you can rest deeply, knowing that you have practiced the Stoic virtues. Let go of the emotional burdens and embraced the peace of the present moment. Your mind and body are ready for rest. Allow yourself to drift into sleep, knowing that you are at peace, and that peace will carry you through the night. As we move toward the final steps of our peaceful journey tonight, let's focus on the importance of resilience in Stoic philosophy and how it can deeply influence our ability to sleep. Resilience, in the Stoic sense, is not just about bouncing back from adversity. It's about embracing life's challenges with grace, composure, and an unwavering commitment to doing what is right, regardless of external circumstances. The Stoics believed that life would inevitably bring challenges, hardships, and obstacles. Yet, they also believed that these challenges were not barriers to our peace, but opportunities to strengthen our inner character. Imagine, as you lie in bed, reflecting on the struggles of your day or perhaps your past. Think about the obstacles you've faced, the hardships you've endured, and the times you felt overwhelmed or defeated. Now, instead of seeing these moments as burdens, imagine them as stepping stones, each one building your resilience, helping you grow stronger and more grounded. Stoic resilience teaches us that suffering is part of the human experience, but it does not define us. What defines us is our ability to endure, to persevere, and to rise above our circumstances with strength and integrity. This is not about avoiding pain or pretending that hardship doesn't affect us. It's about how we respond to it. Resilience is built when we accept that life will not always go according to plan, but we can choose to face whatever comes with courage, composure, and a calm mind. As you reflect on this resilience, imagine it as a quiet strength within you, a force that allows you to stay grounded, no matter what challenges arise. You don't need to fight against life's struggles. You can simply accept them, knowing that you have the strength to endure and the wisdom to learn from them. This is how the Stoics viewed life's difficulties, not as burdens, but as opportunities for growth. So tonight, as you lie in bed, imagine yourself embracing all of life's challenges with this kind of Stoic resilience. Let go of any remaining tension in your body, knowing that no matter what life throws your way, you are more than capable of handling it. As you continue to relax, consider how resilience plays a key role in letting go of the past and preparing for restful sleep. So often, we carry the weight of our mistakes, regrets, and what-ifs into the night. These lingering thoughts can keep us awake, ruminating over actions we can no longer change. But the Stoics taught that we must learn from the past without letting it control our present or our future. Resilience means not allowing our past mistakes or regrets to define us, but instead using them as tools for growth. Think of it this way: each moment, each day, offers us a chance to be better, to rise higher. Your mistakes do not diminish your worth. They do not make you less deserving of rest or peace. Rather, they are part of your journey, teaching you valuable lessons that help you build resilience over time. As you lie in bed tonight, reflect on any regrets you may be carrying, any moments from the past that are still weighing on your mind. Now, gently release them. You cannot change the past, but you can choose how you let it affect you. Picture these regrets as clouds in the sky, drifting away with each breath you take. With every inhale, feel the weight of the past lifting. With each exhale, let go of any lingering self-judgment or guilt. Your journey is ongoing, and the person you are right now is capable, strong, and deserving of rest. As you release the past, you make space for peaceful sleep, free from the burdens of yesterday. Resilience teaches us that no matter how many times we fall, we have the strength to rise again. And in this moment, you rise above the past, allowing yourself to rest, knowing that you are growing stronger with every breath. Resilience also means understanding that not everything in life is within our control. One of the key teachings of Stoicism is recognizing the difference between what we can control and what we cannot. So much of our stress, especially at night, comes from trying to control the uncontrollable, whether it's our thoughts, our circumstances, or the future. But the Stoics would remind us that the only thing truly within our control is our own mind, our own response to the world around us. When you lie in bed, thinking about everything that could go wrong, everything that might happen tomorrow, take a moment to ask yourself, what can I control? The answer is often very little. What you can control is how you choose to react to these thoughts. You can choose to let them go, to let go of the anxiety and worry that keep you awake. Resilience is about accepting that the future is uncertain, and that's okay. Instead of worrying about what might happen, you can choose to trust that whatever comes your way, you will handle it with calm and wisdom. This perspective is incredibly freeing. When you let go of the need to control everything, you free yourself from the stress and anxiety that often accompany the unknown. As you settle into your bed tonight, feel the peace that comes with this. Acceptance. You don't need to control the future. You don't need to figure everything out right now. You can simply rest, knowing that you are resilient enough to face whatever comes your way. And with that understanding, you open yourself to deep, restorative sleep. Another vital aspect of resilience is the ability to be patient with ourselves. The Stoics recognize that growth and change take time, and they emphasize the importance of patience in their teachings. When we are too hard on ourselves, when we demand perfection, we create unnecessary stress. The Stoics taught us to be kind to ourselves, to accept that we will make mistakes, and that these mistakes are opportunities for growth, not reasons for self-criticism. Imagine, as you lie in bed, that you are practicing patience with yourself. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to be perfect. What matters is that you are striving to be the best version of yourself. In the context of sleep, this means allowing yourself the grace to rest without feeling guilty or restless about not being productive. Sleep is just as important as work, and it's essential for your well-being. When you practice resilience, you also practice patience with yourself. You trust that rest is an important part of your growth, and you embrace it fully. As you relax, let go of any pressure to be perfect, to have everything figured out. Instead, focus on the present moment, the stillness of the night, and the opportunity to rest and rejuvenate. You are exactly where you need to be. With each breath, allow yourself to sink deeper into this peaceful state, free from the demands of the day and the pressure of the future. You are resilient, capable, and deserving of rest. Sleep will come naturally when you allow it to, and with that trust, you let go and drift into peaceful slumber. As you lie there, reflecting on the resilience within you, feel the deep sense of strength and peace that comes from accepting yourself, your past, and the present moment. You are capable of facing any challenge, of weathering any storm, and of finding calm even in the midst of uncertainty. And now, as you prepare to sleep, you can rest easy knowing that your resilience will carry you through whatever the future holds. Sleep will come when it's ready, and in the meantime, you can relax and trust in the process. With each breath, feel yourself sinking deeper into the calm, knowing that you are in control of your response to the world, and that response is one of peace, patience, and resilience. As we approach the final stretch of tonight's journey, let's slow things down and explore the power of reflection and wind down. Throughout this experience, we've touched on various Stoic principles: wisdom, courage, justice, temperance, empathy, forgiveness, resilience, all of which help us achieve greater peace, clarity, and ultimately restful sleep. But now, in these final moments before sleep fully takes hold, it's important to bring everything together and reflect on what we've experienced, allowing our mind to soften, to let go, and to fully surrender to the stillness of the night. Reflection, in Stoic terms, is about looking inward and observing our thoughts, actions, and emotions with clarity, without judgment. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, frequently wrote in his journals about the importance of self-reflection as a tool for growth and understanding. He didn't view reflection as a way of criticizing himself, but rather as a means of recognizing his imperfections and striving to be better. This practice is powerful for sleep because it allows us to let go of the mental clutter that often keeps us awake. As you lie in bed, think about your day. What were the moments where you felt connected, calm, and at peace? And what were the moments where you felt tension, anxiety, or frustration? There's no need to dwell on them or judge yourself. Simply observe them. Recognizing the flow of your emotions, the highs and lows, gives you the opportunity to let them go. The Stoics would encourage you to reflect not with criticism, but with understanding. You're not perfect, and that's okay. But by reflecting on the day and learning from it, you are becoming a better version of yourself. In this moment, as you lie in bed, reflect with kindness, accepting your humanity and your growth. You are not defined by your mistakes, but by how you learn from them. And by practicing this reflection, you are also preparing your mind for the peaceful rest it deserves. As you reflect, bring your attention to the idea of release. Release, in Stoic terms, is about letting go of what we cannot control, whether it's a past event, a future worry, or a lingering emotion. We all carry baggage, whether it's in the form of regrets, anxieties, or unresolved thoughts. But the Stoics would remind us that these things don't need to weigh us down. We don't need to carry them with us, especially when we're preparing for sleep. Tonight, as you reflect, ask yourself, what can I let go of? What do I no longer need to carry? You may be holding on to things that no longer serve you, emotions from the past, fears of the future, or thoughts that simply don't matter. As you breathe deeply, imagine letting these things float away, leaving you lighter and more at ease. Picture them as clouds drifting across the sky, moving further and further away with each exhale. This practice of release is essential for restful sleep because it allows you to clear the mental and emotional space necessary for relaxation. When we hold on to things, we prevent ourselves from fully experiencing the present moment. But when we let go, we create the space for peace to enter. So tonight, as you reflect, practice, release, let go of whatever is unnecessary and allow yourself to be fully present, fully at peace, fully ready for rest. Another important Stoic principle that aids in sleep is gratitude. The Stoics recognized that life is full of challenges, but they also understood the importance of acknowledging what we have and being thankful for it. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, often wrote about the importance of focusing on what we have rather than what we lack. This practice of gratitude can be incredibly powerful before sleep. As you lie in bed, think about the things you're grateful for, both big and small. Maybe it's the warmth of your bed, the comfort of your pillow, or the quiet of the night. Maybe it's the support of friends or family, or the simple act of being alive. Gratitude shifts our focus from what's wrong to what's right, from what's missing to what's already here. And when we focus on what's good, we invite more peace into our lives. Gratitude is a powerful tool for rest because it allows us to let go of the stress and anxiety of the day and focus on the positive aspects of our lives. As you breathe deeply, take a moment to savor the feeling of gratitude. Feel it in your chest, in your heart, as you appreciate everything that you have. Gratitude opens the door to peace, and with that peace, sleep naturally follows. You don't need to focus on the problems of the day or the challenges ahead. Instead, simply reflect on what's good, what's working, and what you have to be thankful for. When you practice gratitude, you invite rest and relaxation into your life. The final piece of this peaceful journey is the quiet realization that you've done enough. In the fast-paced world we live in, it's easy to feel like we're constantly running, constantly striving, and never truly at rest. But the Stoics would remind us that peace comes not from external achievements, but from the ability to recognize that we are enough, just as we are. As you lie in bed tonight, remind yourself that you have done enough for today. There's no need to rush through life, no need to constantly do more. The Stoics taught that a life of virtue is enough, no matter what happens in the external world. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to chase perfection. Tonight, give yourself permission to rest. You are enough. Your worth is not measured by your productivity or accomplishments. Your worth is inherent in who you are. And as you lie in bed, allow yourself to rest in the knowledge that you are enough, that you have done enough, and that rest is exactly what you deserve. As we bring this journey to a close, let's take a final moment to embrace the peace that comes with acceptance, reflection, release, and gratitude. You have practiced the Stoic virtues, tonight: wisdom, courage, justice, temperance, empathy, forgiveness, resilience, and each of them has helped guide you toward this moment. Now, as you lie in bed, you can trust that sleep will come naturally. There's no need to force it. There's no need to chase it. You have already done the work of preparing your mind and body for rest. And now, you can allow yourself to surrender to the peaceful rhythm of sleep. Let go of any remaining tension. Let go of the need to control. Trust that sleep will come when it's ready. Allow yourself to drift off peacefully, knowing that you have practiced everything necessary for rest. And with that, you can sleep deeply, knowing that tomorrow is a new day, and tonight is a time for peace, rest, and rejuvenation.